Hello and welcome back to a town called Bastard. This is him, Neill, and we are playing Crusader Kings 2 Horse Lords. At the end of the last episode, I suffered a very slight crash, so I'll be picking up pretty much straight away where we left off, which was busily invading this tiny area of room, which they've somehow managed to claim up there, whilst also dealing with a variety of other little wars, here and there. Just, things to keep me busy, really. Also, before I go much further, I wanted to point out a slight idiocy of mine in a previous episode, in case you hadn't already noticed. There's a new feature added in the latest patch that allows you to control left click to show sub-realms, and of course it's actually in this tooltip in the bottom right of the screen, rather than being within the direct vassal screen itself. So if I find a large realm like the Ayyubids, which is quite large, and control left click, you see the direct vassals, which is pretty much exactly like the direct vassal view. But if I then control left click on one of their vassals, like Damascus, you can see all their vassals. So this thing, for what I'm doing right now, is not terribly useful, but it can be quite handy when you're trying to pick out things. If you're a vassal yourself and you're trying to work out who you can attack or what lands you can take. For me, I'm only interested in the top level lieges, and I'm just going to take whatever I can get. So, again, not something I need to worry about. I mean, it's a very nice feature. It's something that when I've properly pillaged that land away, that when I've been playing vassals, especially within the Holy Roman Empire, something that's been very useful for me, or that would be very useful for me. I worked there before. Yes, another thing pillaged. A good job of destroying stuff over here. Let's end this level. Let me just double check. This is one. Yes. Yes, I'll take this. I think he stays my vassal regardless, but it's a subjugation war, so there's no point going much further. I'll move those troops to deal with the mine rebellion. Mehmed, Chief of Loot. Loot? Regardless, still doing a very good job there. In the meantime, what was I want to do with my family? I believe I wanted to get my brother to inherit Shaghal, but he's really fantastic. Yes. And then yes, just to make sure he gets decent children. Oh, hopefully, in some ways, I won't live too long. I'm already 56. I have gone for hunting focus, which perhaps wasn't the smartest of things to do, given the death wish and everything. But I'm sure it will work out well in the end. And I built a variety of temples and things. So I'm going to create these vassals, and the reason I'm doing that is because these are holy sites for Tengri. And if there's a temple and a holy site, you gain yet more authority. So now see, this one, which lacks a temple holding, only gives 5% more authority, whereas this one, which has does have a temple, gives 10%. So I want to try and reform Tengri, which requires a lot of 750 piety. I'm a bit away from, but it's something to strive for. And of course means that it's harder for the AI to do that, because they're less likely to build temples in these regions. If I was to try to attack Crimea for their land, I'll just save that for a bit longer. And another useless relative of mine does something wonderful. More important, I build a shrine. Movement speed, now that's tempting. Supply limits, also tempting. Movement speeds, movement speeds. Population growth, excellent, that's what I want. A traitor, well, suspicious. One of the things that I don't think will actually make a mass amount of difference when I reform Tengri, as most of the effects of being a nomad are really government based. There's obviously the slight benefit to levy size and things. I can't remember how much of that carries over if I reform actually. But there's not a lot of other things. I don't suffer from the gavel kind stuff. Don't suffer from any penalties really, because it's all about being a nomad. If I was Muslim, for instance, I wouldn't suffer from decadence because I'm a nomad. So lots of this, it just doesn't matter much. The main reason I want to do it is just to, as I can, I suppose. It's always just 10th of July. Just going to go around. Not demonstrated on the channel before, so it's always nice to do. But also, just this faint illusion of stability it gives, really. Quite interesting. I also want to see, is it worth doing? Genuinely don't really know at the moment. And I have gained this beautiful province here, which I think I should now pillage to death, because there's no holy site there that I care about. Nope. Just pillage that away. Pillage. Excellent. We'll just keep going on that for more beautiful lands. Nice to take small bits of contiguous realms still popping up. Not near as much as I'd like. Oh, come on, just die. Okay. Is there anyone else I can attack in the meantime who I'm not? Ooh, Bulgar. Do you have any good grazing land, Bulgar? Keramissa. Keramissa looks good. I'll march some troops up that way. Whilst I'm going, I can't remember if I've declared one of them. I have. And I have yet another land to get out. Well, you can gain some land. What's the worst land? I want to keep pillaging that. In fact, I think I can give them the land and still have that to pillage, if I remember correctly. So that is too much Karen. So, too much. Yes, and I can just keep pillaging away. Excellent. Imagine he won't like me as much for desiring. Well, he does, but they'll be destroyed soon enough. So I'm sure I can survive that. Another revolt ended. Joyous. I'm not going to go and take that bit of land as well, because I can. Interesting. Could make a Georgia tribute again, just for the sake of it. But again, not a lot of income. It's like 40%. Not much. I make such a lot of gold, and let alone the pillaging and so forth. It's just not worth it. You can do something, I don't really care. Banish. Go away. And another sunny uprising right where my army is passing through. That's going to be over very quickly then. Another person runs some. How wonderful. Not, granted, I did start off with a large amount of adventurers within my empire, but and granted that blobbing is generally easy in this game, in the current state of things. It does seem particularly easy with this. And I'd hate to be someone, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'd hate to be someone trying to take land off me with all this nomadic stuff, basically, having to fort down all these bits of land. And it'd be an interesting one to try and play a Russian game now, sort of unite this area and just suddenly have the hordes properly come at you, because I've done it before, long before nomads, and it was mainly just around trying to not let your armies die of attrition before they reached you. So that's all there is to it. Now there might be a bit even more dangerous, because if you lost the land soon, you'd have to, well, obviously you'll be able to march across the steppes, for starters. So, of course, Russia now doesn't include this large steppe land of Tartaria. It's like a bit of a weird de jure empire, I must admit. Let's have a look at this. And much smaller than it was as well. Yeah, that'd be a nightmare. You'd have to try and conquer these bits, put forts on them, turn them into land. But you could do it. It took a long time. And even then, some of the land of Russia is already nomadic or tribal. That'd be a hard slog. It's one of the peculiarities, I think, of the whole tribal system of having the empty land, in that it kind of creates the situation where I don't think a tribal leader, certainly an AI one, is ever going to upgrade their lands near the state they were at a later start date if you just started them. So if you started, say, at 867 in Pomerania or this sort of area of the world, trying to get it up to a state that they were actually at, if you were later just to start in 1066, virtually impossible for AI to do for all their land. A dedicated player can do it, but then a dedicated player can do lots of things because they've got massive income to for all of it. And I fear that a similar thing might happen with sort of nomad bits, that by the end of, say, 1453, unless you're truly dedicated, you'd never get to the point where you might have been in real life. So another sunny revolt, but I suppose I am pillaging Isfahan, and I probably don't like it a lot. Meanwhile, Mehmed is just quite happy to go against his fellow people, just crushing all the sunnies that I'm sending him against. I can gain stewardship but contempt. I don't think I really want to gain contempt. It doesn't seem to suit, so no. As much as do I love my wife? No, I don't even love my wife, so no need to go down that route either. That's a sentence. Another one I don't expect to be saying all the time. They're under attack by revolt. So I should just... Right, that's Crimea. I want Bulgar. Capital Bulgar. Oh, they're also declaring part of that war. Anyway, let's take Keramisa. And there's a capital bit going there, which is good. Now, if I want... Wow, my piety has started going up quite nicely from besieging these heretics and pillaging them around here. So I might actually be able to convert basically as soon as I get the Holy Land. Oops, which one was that? This was him. He's alright. He's not great. He's alright. I'll see how things are going with Shaghagan, the wolf. Wow, he's already gained a title with his lisp and his war focus and his 30 martial. But he's not ambitious or something, but he could be really quite good in the long run. Meanwhile, ooh, Shirigal, the just. That Nestorian is still plodding along. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Anything you can see here? No. Just have to march on their lands. Where is the Bulgar army? I'm sure I saw a couple of thousand troops of theirs somewhere along the way. Can't remember where. Ah, there they are. March through other people's territories. I think as a nomad as well, you get reduced or almost no attrition when you're marching through other people's lands, because you can just forage up the land. That's my memory of it, and I don't seem to be suffering a lot when I'm walking through everyone's lands. So it would make sense. Another population growth, I think. Don't know if that's the most appropriate thing to do, it just seems sensible. Another Sunni uprising in Esfahan. Right, I'll just get a march right back there. I might even ask my vassals to come to war. Just because I've got to bother dealing with trying to play whack-a-mole with the rebels, whilst also hunting down the Bulgars. But although they're on their way anyway, so I might be able to end this war in one fell swoop. If if I'm lucky, 25th of January. Let's swap out Mehmed now. Wonderful teleporting Mehmed, the organizer. That's just a bit more. Excellent. That's that territory. And some more territory. So, I'm going to keep that, give it away, pillage something. And first things, well, I can settle as a tribe. Don't think I'd ever want to do that. To hand out 2 of my counties, which makes sense because I've just gained this fertile land, all 4s. That's going to be brought down to a 4 with a temple. Wait, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 with a temple. I seem to remember that most of my land now is on muchness. Aha! Kuban can be given away to someone. That's quite weak, so remember that one of them ambitious. I don't want them to have too. Well, I suppose they are 3. Yeah, they'll get away with their 3 just to even things up. They can get Kuban. Wish this gump was bigger. I mean, this is quite tiny. Especially given the size of screens these days. I have to give out 1 more. Okay, content, that's right, you can have 1. So what's the next one I have to give out? Don't think it matters, I think there's just lots and lots of 3s. Or 4s even. So where's on a trade route? I don't want to give those away, so Surge is a good one to give away. Lost Mr. Content again. We have lost, there he is. Surge. And there we go. Land's given out, war's over. Right then. Let's reform the religion. So to do this, I need 50% more authority, which we have, 3 Tengri holy sites, which we have, and it'll cost 750 piety, which we definitely have now. 58 more authority, so it's actually pretty close. So let's go for it, let's reform. Ta-da! The Tengri Reformation. The ancient Tengri religion is proving unable to withstand the onslaught. It is a bit of a peculiar one, that you have to be very powerful in order to reform when it says you're unable to withstand it. But regardless, I have decided to reform the Tengri faith. Codified rites, holy scripture, and a proper church. Here we go, High Priest of the High Priest of Tengri Church, Tungak. My moral authority goes up because because it's an organised religion, so that's 20%. My High Priest controls a holy site, he has diplomacy and his piety, so it all goes up. He doesn't like me already. I just made you. I'd have thought I'd gain some kind of benefit against you immediately. Granted barony. Well, I suppose he has granted barony. Oh, but of course he's one of the priests. Well, that's not amazing. Let's give you a holy title. Imperial Guard, Eagles, Valiant. Let's go for Back just because I can. Don't think it really makes a lot of difference. Ooh, and I can make him my court chaplain, which you might like more. And I can presumably start converting things properly now. Where are my vassals and what are my vassals? That's the question now. You are Reform Tengri, Reform Tengri, Reform Tengri, Reform Tengri. That's quite nice actually. So it's just him as an historian. Well, I can now hopefully convert him a bit better. Where's his capital? There. Let's try and convert here. Don't think it will. Don't know how well that will take off. So we'll try it. So I should have an easier time converting some of my other vassals now. Try and convert the Muslims, the Buddhists in the long run, but I think clans for now. And yeah, that was basically the effect of it. The other nice thing, however, is that I can now holy war people. And holy war is basically like subjugation, except that I lose piety when I declare the war instead of subordination instead of 300 prestige, and I only really need piety for priests, so that's quite nice. Of course, they bring in any local allies, but if the local allies have been crushed quite substantially, that's not much of a problem. Speaking of which, where is your land? What's on there? With which, let's go after you. I'll call in local Sunnis. However, I'm feeling I'll be able to crush him relatively quickly. So, oh my head. We can get another organizer now. No. One of these people, because Holy Warrior obviously is great against Blitz enemies. Dodai. Why do I have a foot soldier person as one of my commanders anyway? I think I'll scrap that because I'm never really going to have that. It's just quite a penalty. But I think, or is it just a penalty against? Yeah, it's just a penalty. Heavy foot troops, so I can use them actually quite happily. No penalty against cavalry at all. And ooh. Old Nestorian one is dead. Long live the new Nestorian. He was not that hostile to me despite the different religion. That's good, that's a good start. He's adopted our religion. Excellent. Ooh, that is nice. Good old death of his father. Brother? What's that relationship? Yeah, it was the same. Adventurer. He's an adventurer. He's quite good. Why do you like me so much? Clan sentiment? Both adventurer, both just okay. That's nice. Despite his ambition. Yeah, why not? Now, I'm not going to hold a blood bond with him this time, because I want to be able to absorb and then split out that land later. Clan sentiment minus 100, yeah, I'm not surprised. Exalted, etc. Well, that's turned out well. So come August, I'm going to change that to converting some of my good old Muslims, vassals like Mehmed. I could convert Mehmed. It would be such a coup. Here's my brother. Yeah, why not? You go marry each other. Does not like me. Yeah, he's sunny, so it's going to be quite difficult. Ooh. Mighty Skyfather Tengri Faith is all-seeing. So I've gained a holy order. Can I vassalize them? Not immediately. I can grant them a duchy at some point. In fact, that's a very good point. I can grant them a duchy probably, and that might make them come and join me. Okay, when I take one of these ones, let's create. Why not? Let's create Merv. Let's see if I can still. Actually, no, I've got territory there. Where's one that I have no territory? It'll be hard pressed to find one of those. Kipchak. No, so. Okay, well, once I've taken this bit of land, Distan, I'll usurp that. I'll give that out to the. Oh dear. To the Holy Order and see what that gets me. Okay. So which of my powerful vassals that was part of that? It's the first time I've seen a faction result vaguely look dangerous against me. Probably High Chief Rook ad-Din Hoja al-Haq the Cruel. Just him. Okay, so let's get my Spy Master working against his stuff. can't for several days. Can I get any of them to like me enough to do anything? Probably not. The most chance I've got is against this guy. Him to like me 30 more, that's not enough, he's ambitious anyway. I might just have to have my armies on standby for this. Which, you know, they're always raised, so that need not be a great problem. Ooh, some pretty nasty feuds have formed there. Might send someone to Duke Rashid the Lewd anyway. So if I can get him to like me and then I bribe him, I might be able to get him converted. And that might be worth it. It's far too easy to convert people in my opinion. But I'm not going to resist stooping to take advantage of that. And another Senate uprising. How predictable. In the meantime, where's that powerful one? There we are. And we'll try to forbid you from joining factions. Doesn't really feel that different having reformed. In some religions it feels exceptionally different. Well, in most of the pagan religions, in fact, it feels quite different because, well, you gain the holy wars, you lose lots of the other casus belli, and you aren't stuck to being a tribe or to being Gavelkind and so on anymore. Just a royal lodge. I do not care about that. What is this holding? Oh, it's been recently burned. Fine, whatever. It's still going. Don't have nearly as much gold as I could have at this point. I've not been, I wouldn't say exploiting, I've not been taking as much advantage as things I could have if I really wanted more gold. But I can survive that. So where are Buddhists? Quite happy with them. Where was Mehmed anyway? Good old Mehmed. Loot. Where is he? There he is. Of course, I could just try to convert the same ones that I'm also trying to go after. Then it might be easier for me. All my other powerful vassals that I'm not currently scheming to just get out of things. This such a bit of Tabriz. Okay, let's try and convert you at the same time. As that will at least get rid of 24 of that. Okay. Another raving mob of Sunni infidels have risen up in Esfahan. Well, I'm not terribly worried by that. Excellent prestige. Just what I need. I mean, it's always good. Does have an army around this doing nothing? I want to declare war. That would be useful. Could go for war with Georgia for some reason. Yeah, let's take a holy war for Georgia. Why not? Well, the land's a bit split up. I just do a conquest. Oh, I can't do conquest anymore. I believe. Oh, I can. Excellent. In that case, well, if I give him land, he will like me. Yes, let's take Albanetti. Just round that out for him. Albanetti. Off you go, chop chop. And a random subject has converted. Excellent. Anyone would think I've been pillaging and burning all kinds of stuff here. But that would be foolhardy, I'd never do that. I'm a gentle, kind ruler. And she's quite good, despite the fact that she's a heretic. Another bit of beautiful pillaging. Where are those raiders from? Why are they hostile to me? Oh, they're not hostile to me, they're hostile to another clan, obviously. You're not terribly exciting either. Yeah. Always a big marshal. I think my days are steadily becoming numbered. Not quite sure why I think that. It's just a gut feeling I have. Can I bribe you? Get you up to 0. Is that worth it? But it's barely any money. Might as well try. It's not going to give him some great advantage if I do bribe him. It's a bit more money. Still not a lot in the scheme of things. They're just so poor. Convinced them of anything. You 24, 28. Over the card 23. I don't think that's going to stop him from doing that. If he is a heretic, angry to man. I don't adopt his religion. I want to convert him. Okay, I'll have to convert him next on the agenda. Give this a slight one. Oh, I need a minute in there. So, where has my med gone? I don't think he's died and I've not noticed. That'd be horrendous. Awful, I've missed my med already. Oh well. This is what army. You. Go. I'll make this little by knees that I gain the prestige from besieging stuff. Oh, and there's another death in the family. King Henry of Cyprus, married to the Queen of Armenia. Yeah, I think I mentioned in a previous, in the Carlin game, that indeed is the King of Cyprus of the Delusignans. And the Kings of Jerusalem, you see in the histories. Delusignan, d'Anjou. Not the same ones of the actually no, the same ones of the Capetian, I believe. De Bouillon, who's now listed as theocracy. That's an interesting one. So you gain just as sometimes the other bits of the titles change, so he's now Prince Bishopric of Verdun because that's what it was, so therefore his whole government type seems to change. Interesting. But yeah, that's not historically restored in the time of Henry. And I believe they were Italians. And then de Brienne, and also French. Where's Montferrat? So where's the family? Yes, Montferrat. I believe, in fact, is the same coat of arms as the Montferrats. Yes. The Latin Empire is still going strong. Well, passed from Van Vendôme to Courtenay. It's being defending against the Roman war for Constantinople, which I think the Romans are about to take Constantinople back. I'll return it for the bucks. Well, I feel quite good with progress so far this episode. I've reformed Tengrism and barely noticed anything. Population growth 15%. What does that require? Church infrastructure. Ooh. Okay, I need to focus on church infrastructure because that's quite nice. Is there anything else I desperately want from the slot? The trade post, false defensive, population growth. No, what was the 12% that I thought? So, that's the total bonus, obviously. In which case, I think I will go for making my Havoc every more powerful. Always good. A bit of movement speed, because I'm having more trouble catching up with people than anything else. Let's go movement speed. Right, I think that will be it for today's episk. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.